I transmigrated into the story of a novel where the original character could only watch as his wife cheated on him with another man, too afraid to speak up. But I'm no pushover. Right from the start, I decisively divorced her. Who would have thought she'd refuse to accept it, even provoking me by saying, "If you've got the guts, go find someone else too." I'd never heard such a ridiculous dare in my life. So I granted her wish and spent every day fooling around with a woman even more stunning than she was. When she went on a relaxing getaway with her childhood sweetheart, I was racing cars at the mountaintop with my gorgeous new date. When she partied at the club with him, I stayed out all night watching fireworks with my girl. She posted intimate vacation selfies with him, so I uploaded a photo holding hands with the other woman. Then she broke down. "Arthur," she snapped, "I told you to find a woman, but you went and found a rich socialite." Chapter 1. I secretly installed surveillance cameras in the villa's living room. When my wife brought her childhood friend back home, I received an alert immediately. I rushed back, only to see her half leaning on the guy while he carefully fed her a glass of water. Their posture was ambiguous, their eyes lingering too long on each other. My face turned completely dark as I spoke coldly. "If I'd come home any later, would I have caught you two making out?" They both froze instantly. Serafina sobered up on the spot. Seeing my grim expression, she hurried to explain. "Honey, I just drank a bit too much at a friend's gathering. Marcus was just giving me a ride home on the way. Don't overthink it." I let out a short, scornful laugh. "Oh, just giving you a ride? And did you just happen to invite him in for coffee too? Or are you the one telling me to let him in to watch my turtle do taxes?" Serafina's face turned ghostly pale. She shot up angrily, pointing at me. "Arthur, what's your problem? Haven't you had enough of this? Marcus and I grew up together. I've always treated him like a little brother." I took a step forward, eyes narrowing as I stared at the timid man hiding behind her. "Little brother? You think I'm a fool?" Serafina could sense the danger in my gaze. She quickly threw her arms out to shield him and asked, What? What are you trying to do?" Seeing the weariness on her face, I laughed. "You're hanging out with him every other day, and now you've even brought him home. And I'm still not supposed to overthink it." I glanced at the numbers floating above her head. Cheating probability, 40%. Cheating incidence, 0. That's the cheatability I gained when I transmigrated. If that second number ever ticks up to 1, with my temper, I'd destroy that damn pretentious coquette on the spot. Chapter 2. I glared at Marcus and snapped. "Aren't you leaving?" "What? Planning to spend the night here now." Marcus flinched, but a flash of defiance flickered in his eyes. "Hey Arthur, don't get the wrong idea. Serafina was drunk. I was just bringing her back. I'm sorry, it's all my fault. Please don't blame Serafina." He glanced at Serafina with a pitiful look on his face. I ignored him and said coldly, "If you know it's your fault, then get the hell out. Or do you want me to throw you out myself? A grown man acting like some pretentious coquette. It's fucking disgusting." Marcus looked pitifully at Serafina, the kind of face that screamed, "Please protect me." Honestly, he could have won awards for that look. Serafina sighed, clearly exasperated. "Marcus, you'd better go for now. Thanks for today." Marcus's face turned pale. "I understand, Serafina. Please don't fight with him because of me. Get out." My eyes were sharp with cold fury. Marcus shuddered involuntarily, said no more, and fled. Once he left, I pulled out the divorce papers. "Serafina, if you're so eager to betray me, just sign these and I'll let you go." To my surprise, Serafina grabbed the agreement and tore it to pieces. "Arthur, I don't have time for your hot and cold games. There's nothing between me and Marcus, and I'm not divorcing you." I gave her a mocking look. "Nothing, huh? You're glued to him every day? Nothing? You were practically all over each other just now. If I hadn't walked in, would he have taken care of you all the way to the bedroom?" When I first transmigrated here, her cheating probability was just 20%. Now, after a single week, it's up to 40%. Even the stock market doesn't rise that fast. "Serafina, don't fucking disgust me." Serafina averted her eyes, clearly guilty. "Fine, let's both cool off. I'll stay at a friend's tonight. We can talk tomorrow." I didn't stop her, but gave her a warning. "Serafina, I'm not going to chain you to my side. But as long as we're still married, if you dare betray me, you and that bastard won't walk away unharmed." It's not like I had any real affection for Serafina, but on paper, she was still my wife, and I'm no cuckold. You're insane." She was shaking with rage as she slammed the door and stormed out. Chapter 3. After Serafina left, my eyes fell on the photo wall, filled with pictures of us. Fragments of the original Arthur's memory started flooding in. Serafina, even if you and Marcus grew up together, you're my wife now. Ever since he returned from abroad, you've been stuck to him every day. Do you think that's normal? Arthur, Marcus is like a brother to me. What's wrong with spending time together? If your imagination runs wild, that's your problem. If there were really something between me and Marcus, would I have married you? That was 2 weeks ago. Marcus used depression as an excuse and called Serafina over. With just one phone call, she never came back that night. The hilarious part? That day happened to be their wedding anniversary. The next day, naturally, they had a massive fight. Marcus had only been back in the country for about a month, but he had already become the cause of nearly daily arguments between them. The original Arthur accused her, questioned her, but still loved her deeply. And every time he chose to forgive her, again and again, he just couldn't let go. I could almost see the pain and struggle in his eyes. But Serafina, she drove him mad, then stood by coldly watching him spiral. Finally, she climbed onto the moral high ground and accused him of being emotionally unstable, said he was twisted and saw filth in everything. In truth, before Marcus returned, their relationship had been stable. Back in college, Arthur had always liked her. As the Harris and Davidson families began working more closely together in business, the two families often dined together. Arthur and Serafina gradually got to know each other. Maybe because they were the same age, they always sat next to each other at those dinners. They never ran out of things to talk about. Serafina had that sweet, older girl next door vibe, gentle and caring. At the dinner table, she would constantly pick food for Arthur. He often skipped breakfast, so she'd bring him an extra one every morning. Once Arthur hurt his leg while playing basketball, Serafina was devastated. She cried like a fragile flower in the rain. He was hospitalized for a week. Serafina stayed with him the entire time. That's how they slowly got together. Their dating years were the happiest time of Arthur's life. Every piece of clothing, down to his socks and underwear, was chosen by Serafina. And the gifts Arthur gave Serafina back then, they could easily pile up into a small mountain. Chapter 4. From the moment they met in college. 3 years of dating, 5 years of marriage. Even though it started out as a union between the Harris and Davidson families, they genuinely fell in love. They were the perfect couple in their friends' eyes. They had even planned to try for a child this year. Serafina knew Arthur loved her to his core. No matter how furious he got, he'd never bring himself to let her go. Whenever things blew up between them, she would always strike where it hurt. Arthur, you're always suspicious, overthinking everything. I'm exhausted. What's the point of a marriage like this? If you really can't stand it anymore, then let's just divorce. And every time, Arthur would instantly cave, turn into a total doormat, apologizing endlessly, telling her it was only because he loved her too much. The most pathetic moment, he actually got on his knees and begged her not to leave him. Until a week ago, Arthur had a high fever. Not only did Serafina refuse to stay and take care of him, she rushed off the moment Marcus called again. Devastated, Arthur downed an entire bottle of Baijiu in one go. When he opened his eyes again, I was here. Before she actually cheated, I made the decisive move to file for divorce. But this woman, she played dirty, flat out refused. This past week, she didn't go near Marcus again, and instead focused all her attention on me. She was even unusually enthusiastic in bed, clearly trying to please me. She started getting up early every morning to cook me breakfast, something she never used to do. I thought maybe she'd truly changed, and considering how stunning she really is, I figured maybe it wouldn't be so bad to give it a chance. But it's only been a week, and she already couldn't hold it in anymore. Chapter 5. Serafina took a taxi to her best friend, Scarlett's, place. Scarlett opened the door and joked, "Fighting with your simp husband again? I told you already, never be too good to a man. You've spoiled Arthur too much. He dares argue with you now. Next time he might raise his hand. Just stay here for a while and let him learn a lesson." Hearing that, Serafina felt her own temper flaring. "Scarlett, you're totally right. All I did was let Marcus give me a ride home, and he completely lost it. Even kicked Marcus out. It's the 21st century. Am I not allowed to have male friends? And Marcus is my childhood friend, for God's sake." Scarlett pulled her onto the couch. "Seriously, what kind of grown man is that petty? Poor Marcus. I bet he was hurt. If you ask me, If Arthur were half as mature as Marcus, you wouldn't be so exhausted. Serafina clutched Scarlett's hand tightly, like she'd found a soulmate. Scarlett, you're the only one who gets me. Scarlett gave her a mocking look from the corner of her eye, though her voice was all sweetness. Of course I do. Marcus must be devastated today. You know, it's been ages since our childhood crew got together. What if I organize a hangout tomorrow? Cheer him up a little. Serafina, finally smiling again, nodded. All right, Scarlett, I'll let you handle it. Scarlett looked into Serafina's eyes and grinned. You know, Serafina, Marcus has had a thing for you since we were kids. We all knew it. He's sweet, thoughtful. Maybe it's time you. Serafina immediately dropped her smile, face turning serious. Scarlett, don't say that. I've always seen him as a little brother. And even if Arthur and I are fighting, I still love him. Scarlett backed off with a wave of her hand. All right, I'll shut up. But before she could finish her sentence, she rushed to the bathroom, retching. Scarlett, what's wrong? Serafina called out. Scarlett leaned over the sink, back turned. It's nothing, my stomach's just acting up. Chapter 6. During this time, I ramped up my company's investments in short-form drama content and AI large language models. In my previous life, my company had focused on exactly these two sectors. Even though I started late here, I could still get in while the pot was hot. And in this world, these industries were still blue ocean, wide open, almost no competition. That night, I was entertaining a major client at the DJU club. After sending the client off, I saw a social media post from Scarlett. They were singing karaoke in a private room at the very same DJU club. I didn't need to guess. Serafina and Marcus were definitely there. When I got to the private room, I walked in right as Serafina and Marcus were drinking a linked arms toast, egged on by their childhood friends. And right after that, Scarlett led the chant, kiss, kiss. The group echoed her, kiss, kiss. The two were leaning closer and closer. Serafina's cheating probability was now at a blazing 65%. Hey, jumping 25 points in a single day? Incredible. Rage instantly consumed me. I kicked the door open. Everyone turned to look. Serafina's face went pale when she saw me. Babe, what are you doing here? Oh, I'm sorry. Did I interrupt your romantic toast and make-out session? Marcus stood up, trying to play innocent. Arthur, it's not what it looks like. We were just playing a game. The provocation in his eyes was crystal clear, as if I were still the same pathetic pushover as the original Arthur. Game my ass. Smack, 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 smack. I slapped him 4 or 5 times in a row, back and forth, then landed a solid kick to his stomach, sending him flying. Thud. Marcus crashed to the ground, curled up and groaning in pain. His delicate, pretty boy face was now swollen like a pig's head. It all happened in a flash. No one in the room had time to react. The place was dead silent. Everyone was shocked, speechless. Chapter 7. Arthur, how dare you? You fucking simp. Who gave you the guts? Scarlett shrieked, rushing at me like she was about to scratch me up. Smack. I slapped her to the floor without hesitation. You bitch. I snarled. Marcus comes back and suddenly you're organizing group hangouts every other day? You think I don't see what you're scheming? Panic flashed in Scarlett's eyes. She went completely silent, not daring to make another sound. Serafina rushed over, worried I might do something even more extreme. Honey, you've got it all wrong. Can we please talk about this at home? She was clearly scared. The husband who used to worship her, who was always obedient, was now someone she couldn't recognize. It terrified her. Just then, Marcus spoke up again, voice full of fake remorse. Serafina, this is all my fault. I never should have come back. Please don't blame Arthur. That false modesty, that fake-ass guilt, made my rage flare up again. You pretentious little bastard. I snapped. Still putting on a show? We're both men. Don't think I don't know exactly what game you're playing. Let me put it this way. If you've got the balls, convince Serafina to divorce me. Otherwise, every time I see you, I'll beat your ass. You just love picking up the scraps I've already tossed aside, Pathetic piece of shit. Serafina's eyes blazed with fury. She shouted, Arthur, that's enough. When are you going to stop? How long are you planning to keep making a scene? I shoved her away. If you really want to shack up with that damn pretentious coquette, then divorce me. But don't act like a saint when you're playing the slut. The entire room went dead silent. I looked around. Her so-called childhood friends all dropped their gazes the moment I met their eyes. No one dared look at me. Puffed, what a goddamn mess. I'd thrown punches, shouted enough, vented most of my anger. Time to go. I turned and left. Behind me, Serafina stood there trembling with rage, screaming at my back. Arthur, I'm not divorcing you. If you've really got the guts, go find another woman. Stop orbiting around me all the time. I paused briefly at the door, then walked away without looking back. Chapter 8. I stepped out of the club and had just sat in the driver's seat when a woman burst out from the entrance, yanked open the passenger door, and climbed in. I blinked in confusion. She spoke urgently. Please drive. My boyfriend just maxed out my card, spending over $1 million on gifts for his so-called goddess. I stormed in and ruined their little party, nearly cracked both their heads open. If we don't leave now, they're going to chase after me. Her words left me stunned, but I didn't ask questions. I slammed on the gas and sped off. Only after we'd driven far enough did I get a good look at the woman next to me. Long, slender legs, smooth and fair, curves in all the right places. A face so stunning it was practically otherworldly. She radiated a lazy, aristocratic charm. Those big eyes still gleamed with the thrill of chaos. I swallowed and asked cautiously, So, where do you want to go, beautiful? She looked me up and down for a moment, then smiled seductively. Want to take a little detour with me? I smirked. What? You think I'm scared of one woman? Tell me where. 40 minutes later, we arrived at Phoenix Mountain. From the mountaintop, you could see nearly half the city. She stepped out of the car and leaned lazily against the hood. Her smile was radiant. Against the glittering night skyline, she was without question the most beautiful woman I'd ever seen smile. I lit a cigarette, exhaled slowly, and asked, According to what you said, your boyfriend betrayed you. Shouldn't you be upset? Why are you smiling? Why would I be upset? She replied with a grin. This is my rebirth. My ex-boyfriend, just a materialistic loser, a manipulative jerk, a full-blown gold digger. He used my money, my house, even my cards, and then spent it all on another woman. You tell me, is that even human? She continued. The former owner. No, wait. I used to be a total hopeless romantic, naive, soft-hearted, blindly in love. I got played like a damn fiddle. But luckily, I woke up today. That scumbag just got what he deserved, and this is just the beginning. I've got way more in store for those two trash bags. Halfway through my smoke, it slipped from my fingers and hit the ground. Former owner. Wait, did she just say former owner? No way. Was this drop-dead gorgeous woman also someone who'd transmigrated here? A fellow transmigrant? I instantly felt a sense of connection, like meeting someone from your hometown in a foreign land. Damn right. That's a rebirth. Congrats. She beamed with delight. Thanks. I've got a surprise for you. Before I could ask what she meant, she closed her eyes and whispered, 3, 2, 1. Boom, boom, boom. Fireworks erupted across the entire city. The sky exploded in gold and crimson. The city's glowing lights suddenly became background noise. Dozens of brilliant fireworks tore through the night, silver sparks raining down like stardust. Some even dusted her eyelashes like crushed diamonds. It was dazzling, but still couldn't compare to the woman standing beside me. The night was dark, the air cool, and we were alone, a man and a woman. The air between us turned suddenly charged. An hour later, the fireworks ended. At her request, I drove her to Tianlong Villa District, the city's most exclusive neighborhood for the ultra-rich. We talked a lot along the way. Hobbies, interests, outlook on life. Surprisingly, our views aligned shockingly well. As we arrived, she gave me a bright smile. Actually, today's my birthday. My scumbag boyfriend snuck out halfway through, so I ran after him. And honestly, having you around on the most important day of my life made it really special. Good night, Mr. Arthur. She turned and walked away. I just stared at her graceful figure, stunned, unable to snap out of it. I searched the original Arthur's memories for any clue but came up empty. Still, someone who could live in Tianlong villas and set off citywide fireworks for their birthday. She clearly had power and connections. Finding out who she was through her license plate would be a piece of cake. No wonder I'd felt like we were being followed on the way up, probably a security escort. I pulled out my phone and searched for any news about fireworks that night. Nothing. Not a single post. Interesting. I didn't dwell on it. I drove away from the Villa district, not back to the apartment I shared with Serafina, but to the place I used to live before we got married. By the time I got there, it was almost dawn. I looked at my phone, 99 missed calls from Serafina. I turned it off without hesitation. I was exhausted, collapsed into bed, and slept like the dead. Chapter 9 At the Blue Sky Villa. Serafina stared at her phone, trembling with anger as she heard the automated, "The number you dialed is powered off" message. She'd sat in the living room all night without sleeping. She looked utterly drained. Just then, Scarlett called. "Serafina, Arthur went way too far this time. You have to make him apologize properly to Marcus. I've told you before, you've spoiled him too much." Serafina's eyes burned with frustration. "I think you're right, but I can't reach him. He didn't come home all night." Scarlett's voice suddenly spiked in volume. "What? He had the nerve to stay out all night? This is outrageous, Serafina. You've been way too soft on him all these years. That's why he doesn't respect you anymore. I'm telling you, Marcus is really upset. Why don't we take him on a short trip? Help him relax and teach Arthur a lesson at the same time. Just because a woman's married doesn't mean she's not allowed to have male friends, right? If you let him off the hook this time, he'll only become more arrogant and unbearable. How are you supposed to keep living like that?" Serafina said angrily. "There's nothing going on between me and Marcus. Arthur is just too petty, like he's not even a man. All right, book the tickets, let's leave today." Chapter 10 During that time, I didn't go back home. I was completely done with Serafina. I didn't return a single one of her calls or messages. In this world, both short-form dramas and AI language models were still emerging industries. If I wanted to carve out a place in the market, I had to move fast. Serafina and I had signed a prenuptial agreement before marriage. Our companies were independently operated, and there was no shared marital property to dispute. All we had was a few years' worth of salaries as mutual income. So whether we divorced or not, it wouldn't affect my plans to rapidly scale my company. With the current strength of the Harris family, we could fully handle the short drama sector ourselves. But large language model AI, that would require massive upfront investment, and the Harris family couldn't afford to fund independent R&D. I had to find a big corporation to partner with. I spent days knocking on doors, trying to pitch collaboration opportunities to major players. Every single one turned me down. Even my parents and the rest of the Harris family urged me to give up. Just when things looked hopeless, one of the city's top elite families, the Montgomery family, agreed to partner with us. They committed billions in capital and entered into a strategic alliance with the Harris family. The entire family celebrated. If the deal went through, the Harris family's influence would level up dramatically. On the day of the contract signing, I led my team to welcome the Montgomery Group representatives. Rumor had it, the reclusive heiress, Eleanor Montgomery, the most mysterious young lady of the Montgomery family, would personally attend to sign the contract. A real high society debutante. But when I saw who stepped out of the car, I was stunned. It was her, the jaw-droppingly gorgeous woman who had dragged me to the mountaintop that night to watch fireworks. Her professional suit didn't hide her beauty, it amplified it. She was an absolute goddess. Eleanor gave me a charming smile. "What's wrong, Mr. Harris? Don't recognize me?" I immediately grasped her soft little hand. "So you're a fellow soul traveler?" "Ah." I knew it had to be someone with great vision who saw the potential in this project. Eleanor looked at me oddly, amused and suspicious all at once. I didn't explain further and quickly invited the Montgomery Group executives into the meeting room. The cooperation process went incredibly smoothly. Eleanor used project supervision as an excuse to visit every few days and often invited me out to dinner. Naturally, I was more than happy to oblige, and slowly the two of us grew closer. Chapter 11 Of course, I knew Serafina had gone on a trip with Marcus. She was probably doing it to provoke me, posting daily updates with photos of the two of them. There were shots of them holding hands on the beach, feeding each other, even cheek-to-cheek selfies that left nothing to the imagination. Naturally, I wasn't going to just sit back and take it. I asked Eleanor to help me take a photo, us holding hands while shopping. Once we got a good shot, I posted it to my social feed, set to visible only to Serafina. Not even 10 minutes passed before Serafina called. After thinking for a moment, I picked up. The second I answered, her voice exploded through the phone. "Arthur, you asshole. You cheating piece of shit. You go out and find another woman the moment I'm away? How could you do this to me?" I couldn't help but laugh. Oh, so you can go find someone, but I can't? Serafina, you don't get to play the double standard card. Weren't you the one who told me to find someone else? She went silent for a moment on the other end, then finally let out a long sigh. Honey, you sound like a totally different person now. What happened to the man you used to be? I'm tired, Arthur, really tired. All this suspicion and fighting. Can we stop? That woman, she's obviously just using you. Be careful, she's nothing but a gold digger. Hey, calling a real rich heiress a gold digger? Only Serafina could manage that kind of Olympic-level delusion. I didn't bother correcting her. I replied, Serafina, maybe you should be more worried about yourself. The Davidson family's overseas investments flopped. They're on the verge of bankruptcy. And suddenly Marcus comes running back to cozy up to you? You don't think that's a little suspicious? That's enough. Serafina snapped. I know you've always had it out for Marcus, but he's kind, sincere, and I won't let you insult him. At that moment, it finally clicked for me. Serafina, in full love-brain mode, was dumber than a bag of rocks. My patience was running thin too. Serafina, cut the damn whining already. Are you done or not? I'll ask one last time. Are you divorcing me or not? If not, I'll file a lawsuit and settle it in court. Do whatever you want. And with that, she hung up. Chapter 12. Over the next few days, I continued to post a series of intimate photos with Eleanor on my social feed. Sure enough, Serafina couldn't sit still anymore. She finally decided to come back. She called me. Arthur, I'm at the cafe downstairs from your office. Can we talk? I responded flatly, wait a bit. I'll come down once I finish this batch of documents. About 10 minutes later, I sat across from Serafina at the table and went straight to the point. I don't have time to waste on back and forth. If you agree to a divorce, we can go to the civil office right now and get it done. If you want to talk about anything else, don't bother. See you in court. Serafina's expression changed instantly. She looked at me in disbelief. Arthur, are you serious right now? I looked at her like she was an idiot. What? Do I look like I'm joking? Her face twisted with sadness. Arthur, you love me so much. Why do you suddenly feel like a complete stranger? I really don't get it. Just because I got a little close to Marcus, you're divorcing me? Tell me the truth. Is it because of that gold digger? I took out the photo Marcus had sent me a couple days ago, the two of them lying in the same bed, and slid it in front of her. Serafina, weren't you always saying he's like your little brother? A little brother who shares your bed? You disgust me. The moment she saw the photo, Serafina's face went pale. She rushed toward me in a panic. Babe, you misunderstood. I was drunk that night. He tried to touch me, but I pushed him away. I swear I didn't do anything wrong. I shoved her off me, my eyes full of contempt. Serafina, you really think I believe that? You crossed the line, you're tainted. I'm someone who needs emotional cleanliness. How could we ever go back to what we were? You're a woman who doesn't know what boundaries are, a compulsive liar. Meeting you, that's my bad luck. Serafina lunged at me again, pale and crying her eyes out, shaking her head desperately. Babe, please. I didn't lie to you. I really pushed him away. I didn't cheat. I messed up, but please, of course, I knew she hadn't cheated. Her cheating probability was at 90%, but actual incidents, 0. She held the line this time, but what about next time? Serafina, you know I've got this photo now. Even if I take this to court, it'll be an easy win. And once the divorce becomes public, so does the scandal. Your Davidson family's reputation? Gone. You've got two options. Come with me to the registry office right now and settle this peacefully, or lose everything when it goes to trial. This offer, I'm only making it once. Serafina's father was a profit-driven businessman, but her mother, a university professor, was extremely concerned about her public image. If she found out about all this, Serafina would be done as the Davidson family's heir. And the Davidsons had more than one daughter. Serafina had no other way out. She followed me, numb, robotic, through the entire divorce process. Outside the civil affairs office, she remained standing there in a daze. She stared in the direction I left, frozen in place, still unable to understand how two people who once loved each other so much ended up like this. After a long while, she finally collapsed to the ground, sobbing uncontrollably. Chapter 13. Over the following month, the Harris Group gradually severed all business ties with the Davidson family. Of course, this wasn't just out of revenge. The more important reason was strategic. Our company had started shifting its focus towards short-form drama production and AI large language models. We were also slowly expanding into areas like smart home tech, AI healthcare, and autonomous driving. Our long-term vision: to become a top-tier technology corporation. Meanwhile, the Davidson Corporation was steadily going downhill. Serafina spent her days partying, drinking, and goofing off with Marcus and Scarlett. She barely touched the company anymore. And with Mr. Davidson seriously ill, he was in no shape to manage the business either. Eventually, under the coaxing of both Scarlett and Marcus, Serafina appointed Marcus as the company's vice president. Marcus basically had full control of the business from that point on. When I heard the news, I nearly burst out laughing. The biggest reason the Davidson family was collapsing was simple: Marcus was incompetent. Putting him in charge of a company? That's not just risky, it's suicidal. Once a woman gets blinded by love, it's like her IQ drops to zero. The day I received my divorce certificate, Eleanor insisted on celebrating. She booked a table at Cloud Summit Restaurant, a high-end rooftop place in the city. Halfway through dinner, we unexpectedly ran into Serafina and Marcus. Just my luck, what a buzzkill. Serafina stormed over to our table, fuming. "So it's true, Arthur. You rushed to divorce me just to be with this gold digger? Be honest, were you two messing around behind my back this whole time?" She glared furiously at Eleanor. "Someone as pretty as you, and you're still shameless? You disgust me." She grabbed a half glass of red wine from the table and threw it at Eleanor. I moved fast and pulled Eleanor toward me, but some of the wine still splashed on her clothes. My rage exploded on the spot. I raised my hand and slapped Serafina hard across the face. "Serafina, what the fuck is wrong with you?" She stood there in complete shock. She never expected I'd hit her in public. Marcus rushed over to comfort her, but she shoved him away. Covering her red, swollen cheek, she glared at me with disbelief. "Arthur, you hit me for that gold digger? I want the truth. Are you two sleeping together or not?" My expression turned cold and sharp. "Serafina, I have proof that you were the one cheating. And now you want to throw shit at me? We're already divorced. Whatever I do with Eleanor is none of your damn business. But what you did just now, you'd better apologize to her, or I swear I won't let it go." By this point, everyone in the restaurant had turned to look. Whispers spread like wildfire. The moment they heard Serafina had cheated, the crowd was buzzing. Serafina heard the murmurs. Then she looked at my furious face. Her arrogance faltered. I have to apologize to her. Based on what? Based on the fact that she's the sole heir of the Montgomery Group, Eleanor Montgomery. Chapter 14. The Montgomery family was one of the top elite families in the city, and Eleanor, as their sole heir, had always been heavily protected. When everyone realized who Eleanor really was, shock and disbelief spread across their faces. Serafina froze. Then, as if something suddenly clicked in her brain, she scoffed mockingly. "Enough, Arthur. You're seriously making up ridiculous lies just to get back at me. What? You think someone like you could actually land a rich heiress?" Marcus couldn't hold his tongue either. "Exactly, Serafina. I think Arthur just couldn't handle the divorce, so now he's staging this whole show to mess with you." Many of the onlookers started nodding. Judging from their expressions, quite a few of them believed Serafina and Marcus. They started whispering among themselves, throwing judgmental glances our way. Just then, the manager of Cloud Summit Restaurant came rushing over with a group of security guards. He gave a respectful bow. "Young miss." All the guards shouted in unison, "Good evening, Miss Montgomery." Everyone in the city knew that Cloud Summit Restaurant belonged to the Montgomery family. This moment confirmed Eleanor's identity without a doubt. The crowd collectively froze in shock. Serafina and Marcus's faces turned ghostly pale. They stood there like two mannequins, completely stunned. Eleanor's eyes flashed coldly. "Manager, throw these two out. From now on, they're banned from entering this restaurant ever again." It was only then that Serafina snapped out of it. If she really got thrown out in front of everyone, her reputation would be utterly destroyed. "Miss Montgomery, I swear I didn't mean it. I'm sorry. I was wrong." But no matter what she said, it didn't change the outcome. She and Marcus were escorted out. Finally, the place was peaceful again. After we sat back down, I glanced at Eleanor with a half-smile. "Miss Montgomery, you haven't been in this world long, but you've adapted pretty well to your new identity." Eleanor stared at me, eyes wide, speechless for several seconds. At that moment, she finally understood what I meant earlier when I called her a fellow traveler. Her eyes lit up. She grabbed my hand and wouldn't let go, calling me hometown buddy over and over again. The restaurant manager nearby just stood there, jaw on the floor, utterly dumbfounded. Eleanor, now that the dam had broken, turned into a total chatterbox. She went on and on, from her past life to her current one. No topic was off limits. Chapter 15. Eleanor started showing up at Harris Enterprises even more frequently. It didn't take long for both the Montgomery and Harris families to notice. Eleanor was clearly not just being polite with me. The Montgomery Group's approach was direct and aggressive. They simply sent over piles of high-quality projects. Harris Enterprises was in a period of rapid growth, so of course, I welcomed every opportunity with open arms. From that point forward, our company grew like it was on steroids, booming at an insane pace. In contrast, things were going downhill fast for the Davidson Corporation. Ever since Serafina got publicly thrown out of Cloud Summit restaurant, everyone knew she had offended a real rich heiress. Now, the Montgomery Group, being one of the city's most powerful families, didn't even need to act directly against a small-time company like Davidson Corporation. But opportunistic businessmen, they never miss a chance to curry favor. Those who were cozying up to the Montgomery family jumped at the opportunity to suppress Davidson Corporation in the name of loyalty. In just 2 months, Davidson Corporation's revenue was cut in half. The whole company was on the verge of collapse. During those 2 months, Serafina called me almost every day. After I blocked her, she started coming to the office in person. Every time, I had security throw her out. One day, just as I was leaving work and walking into the parking lot, Serafina managed to ambush me. She rushed over and grabbed my arm. "Arthur, I know I messed up. I didn't know she was a rich heiress. Please talk to her for me. I swear nothing ever happened between me and Marcus. I still love you. If you help me beg for forgiveness, I'll agree to remarry you." Okay, that moment confirmed it for me. This woman was completely out of her damn mind. "Serafina, can you try running your words through your brain first? You think I'd ever take back someone like you? A woman with no sense of boundaries, no self-awareness, and zero decency? I stopped loving you a long time ago. We ended a long time ago. I'm busy, so stop showing up and harassing me." Serafina's shame turned into rage. "I don't believe you. You love me so much. This was just a small mistake. I've already apologized. I've humbled myself to you. What more do you want from me?" With the kind of temper I had, if she weren't a woman, I would have already beaten her so bad her own parents wouldn't recognize her. "Serafina, I'll say it one last time. Even if you didn't cheat physically, you cheated emotionally. And that's more than enough for me. I, Arthur, don't want a tainted woman. I don't ever want to see you again, because you disgust me. Got that? If you understand, then get the hell out of my sight." This time, Serafina was truly stunned. She had thought that after 8 years together, I would still have some lingering feelings for her. She thought that if she just lowered her head, I'd go back to treating her the way I used to. But now, in this moment, she finally understood. There was no going back. Her face went deathly pale. She stood there like an empty shell with no soul. I didn't look back. I got in the car and drove off without hesitation. After that day, Serafina never came to see me again. Chapter 16. I later heard that the Davidson family went bankrupt. Marcus had convinced Serafina to sell off all her domestic assets, pouring the remaining 800 million yuan into an overseas investment. Marcus was in full control of the funds. Then Marcus and Scarlett both vanished. Serafina pulled every string she could, even filed police reports, but no one could track either of them down. Then Serafina's mother called me. She said Serafina was hospitalized, refusing to cooperate with treatment, and she begged me to go visit. Her voice was filled with desperation. Serafina's mother had always been a kind, cultured woman, a university professor. Throughout the 5 years I'd been married to Serafina, she had always treated the original me with genuine warmth and respect. I last saw her at Mr. Davidson's funeral. She had noticeably more white hair and looked utterly worn down. After thinking it over, I couldn't bring myself to say no. When I saw Serafina again, I barely recognized her. Her skin was sallow, her hair greasy and unkempt. Clearly, she hadn't taken care of herself in a long time. She sat in a hospital gown, staring blankly at the ceiling, eyes lifeless. When I walked in, She spoke calmly. You came to laugh at me, didn't you? I didn't reply. She continued. I was such a fool, letting those two scumbags play me like a damn puppet. Huh. I had such a good life. A husband who loved me, a decent company. Maybe someday we would have had two lovely, well-behaved kids. But I ruined it because I was blind and stupid. I destroyed it all. I'm sorry. Her apology blurred into sobs. I really regret everything. Her mental state was clearly fragile. After crying for a while, she eventually fell asleep. I never said a word. Once she dozed off, I quietly placed a fruit basket beside her bed and walked away without looking back. Chapter 17. 3 years later, the short-form dramas and large AI language models developed by my company were massive successes. Harris Enterprises also achieved major breakthroughs in smart healthcare and smart home technology. The company's market valuation surpassed 100 billion yuan, and my personal net worth crossed 30 billion. That same year, Eleanor and I held a grand, extravagant fairy tale wedding that went viral across all platforms. We topped the trending charts, and people from all walks of life sent us sincere and joyful blessings. 2 years after that, Eleanor and I welcomed a daughter and a son, a beautiful, complete family. Meanwhile, Serafina, having suffered from years of depression, anxiety, and refusing treatment, her breast cancer had advanced to its late stage. I leaked the whereabouts of Marcus and Scarlett, who had recently returned to the country with their child. That evening, our little boy got hungry and began crying nonstop. The TV was reporting breaking news. Marcus and his entire family had died in a car crash. As the nanny rushed forward, I stopped her gently. I'll handle it. I picked up the formula myself and went to prepare milk for my son.